separates b-boying from anything else. You don't really have that in any other kind of dance. At least not from like top, floor, and then explosive, and you like intertwine like power moves and stuff like that. Like, they don't have that in ballet, they don't have that in modern. That's what kind of distinguishes b-boying from everything else. If you cover those bases and at least you have like a decent concept on what that is and what that entails, then I think that's definitely what classifies you more as b-boy.
Okay, but especially in the past, like a lot of, let's call them abstract guys, just didn't top rock. For instance, like Law from Circus Runaways, he didn't top rock at all. Like not at all. Like now, he's kind of getting into it. That's what I see from the videos on YouTube or whatever. But like he didn't used to top rock, like not at all. Would you call him like then a b-boy? That's what you just said. Like someone that starts off with a top rock.
No, I understand what you're saying. I definitely do. But I mean, I think at that point it comes up to a judging system, because I mean, who's to say just because someone has a good or bad top rock doesn't make them a b-boy, or they choose not to do it? That just all goes up to a judging system where a judge will say, well, he didn't top rock, and that counted against him. You know what I mean? It's his choice whether he wants to do it or not. I mean, just because like either if you have personal information on someone or knowing that they can or can't do something doesn't necessarily like subject them to like a certain genre or definition.
So is it more right that you just meant like not like an intro and a middle part and an end, and thinking of moves, but rather than something as an introductional part and as an introduction of yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if that's stop rock or standing on your head, that's the introduction part.
Yeah.
So you can choose whatever introduction you like. And this, like the way of this dancing is specifically in b-boying is very strong.
Yeah, I mean it's not subject to that exact formula like top, middle, end. You know, I mean some people just slide in and that's their intro, but I mean there's just certain characteristics about b-boying that separate. For the most part, somebody's gonna hit the floor. Someone's gonna do freezes. Someone's gonna do some kind of spin, some kind of power, stuff like that. That's what really distinguishes them. Just because they don't do a top rock doesn't mean they're not a b-boy. You know what I mean?
But do you feel that there's a reason? Like I think listening to you now, that it started as a dance for young kids to be representative of themselves and what they did and what the music that they listened to and the environment that they lived in, and it was like New York, Bronx, 70s. It couldn't come out any other way of representing yourself in this form, like this start, introduction, into an end, which is most of the time very explosive. And so you say that like you believe that that's the roots that is in b-boying, and now it comes like if you talk to certain people, they feel that you should keep that environment. You know what I mean? Yeah. You should keep that music, the black music culture, the jazz, the hip hop, the breaks, the b-boy floor as a podium you want to do your stuff in. You still feel that you keep it there, or is it for you to choose for yourself wherever you want to do this and still be b-boying actually? So what I'm trying to say is what most people think is that I feel that a lot of people get their inspiration from all over, you know, from music, from art, from movies, from whatever. But isn't it what people say, what makes it b-boying if you still choose that traditional podium? Because it also would be like getting a karate suit but going to a football match and wanting to do karate there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is how can you then, you know what my question is a little bit?
I think
yeah?
I kind of get it, but just to elaborate on what you consider a b-boy is also, like when you talk about it, I mean if you think back, you know, back when it all started, right, b-boying means it's a break boy, everybody knows that history, you know what I'm saying, and back then, you know, everybody just bugged out. There was no certain way to like, you know, tell you like you're a certain style or whatever. b-boying is like you bugging out on the breaks. That means you're letting yourself out on those breaks, you know, you're getting loose. So like the way I look at it now, you know, and b-boying is still young as a dance. It's only like 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? It's got so much potential to grow. Like as far as different styles coming in and different like ideas and concepts, it's still in its early stages. But one thing you got to remember, it's a dance. So no matter what you're doing, like no matter if you're doing tricks, if you're doing freezes, power moves, you got to make that connection to the music. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the main foundation is music. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain styles that people call traditional. You know, that was in their area, that was in their environment, that's what they learned. I mean, I'm from like all the way on the other side, you know, from a different time also. But I represent the essence of a b-boy, which is rocking beats when you hear the music. Like, yo, whatever it is, if it's house, if it's hip hop, if it's breaks, if you feeling like you want to get down, like, you know, I consider that a b-boy. It's a dancer. You know what I'm saying?
So people will be making it way too complicated. Like the basic rule is just it's a dance and listen to
Yeah,
the
I mean,
music.
it gets crazy because you get into like competitions, you know, you get into like a judging system, like how do you judge a certain way to dance, you know, so you start creating these rules, you know, all right, you gotta have this in order to do that, you know, and it comes to like a matter of opinion on who's ever judging, but like the main focus is, you know, it's a dance, so whatever you're doing, whatever you're trying to represent, make sure it's a dance, you know, you're just dancing to it. That's how I look at it. As a whole, b-boying is a dance. You can represent however you want, as long as you make a connection to the music, you know?
I've got a question. Because when you watch the old tapes like Beat Street or Breaking, you see people they're locking, then they pop, then they go to the floor doing 6 steps, and to the freeze, and maybe do some more locking or something. So it was combined. And I think after a while, some styles will separate. They say, no, you cannot do locking in a breakbeat, or when you do break, you cannot involve other styles in it. And you said you also dance house, and you do b-boying. What do you think of the combining the styles?
I think it's great. You know, I think it's dope. Like I said, like the more styles like you know, and you know, I was teaching a workshop today, and I was trying to explain like, you know, in order to express yourself fluently in the art of dance, you know, think of styles as vocabularies. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know, we took capoeira. You know, I took capoeira for 2 years, and I studied some certain movements that I put into my own, you know, my own style. So like think of like styles as vocabularies. The more you know, the more fluent you can speak, you know, through movement. So I think it's great to do a lot of styles, you know.
What do you think of judges who say, no, you're not a b-boy, you're doing house, or you're not a b-boy, you're doing this? And you combine your thing with footwork, and you do your thing with top rock, but you take some house steps to catch the beat or something. Say, no, you're not a b-boy. But
I think that's wrong. I don't think anyone has the right to tell someone they're not a b-boy. I mean, but at the same time, you have to know what you're subject to. If you're going to enter a battle and you know who the judges are, you have to know that you're subject to their opinion, and you have to accept that when entering the battle.
It's almost like the street, the basketball thing they had. Like they got the NBA, where they have all the rules and everything, but they got the street basketball, where they are saying, just come to my court and let's see what's up.
See, that's alienness for you right there.
But basically, I mean, what you say that if you commit yourself to a competition, then you know that
You're
just a set
subject
of
to
rules.
rules. You're subject to guidelines. You have to accept that. I mean, b-boying's an art. And typically, when you make art, you don't necessarily put it in competition. You don't paint a picture, like you don't paint a picture and put it in competition. You put it in a museum if it's good, you know. But we're artists, and we're putting ourselves up to be judged. Like that's our choice. So you have to be like willing to accept the loss or win, whichever way it goes.
So you take the challenge also, because it's a big risk. That sounds like an even bigger challenge to convince people, and you know, with the dance that you do, and then make them, you know, applaud for it or like reward it.
Yeah.
Because nowadays it seems like some people are like, no, I'm never coming back to the b-boy scene no more because I'm pissed and I lose all the battles, and they don't accept my style. They don't like you know reward it enough, and I'm out. So you think that those people are like?
I think they're probably not dancing for the right reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, okay.
You know what I mean? If that's what's going to affect your dancing, and that's what's going to sum up your whole dance career, is what a judge thinks of you or what the crowd thinks of you, then you're probably dancing for the wrong reasons.
Okay. Got something else to add, because we're going to round it up. Okay, then. Got something else to add, because we're going to round it up. Okay,